But I believe in objective news. I believe in balanced news. I don't want to slant the news. I just want to tell it like it is.
How many camera crews? Camera crews.
We have two here.
Yeah. We have two reporters. And you stick those cameras in face anybody you want to start asking questions.
Hey, Luke.
Ask a tough question.
Let them know right now we haven't seen you.
I mean, get out there. Don't even say who you're from.
You know the joke, and we'll just go from there.
What do you think is the president of Texas? You think this thing right person Trump, there might be a military gimmick? You think that's election? I mean,
And then Pat will discuss with them
you know what I'm saying? I mean, and cameras right in their face. Go up and ask you a question. Boom.
We'll do it. We'll do it.
We play hardball. We play hardball.
I'm not sure that's one that's going to go up.
Televangelists play some of their hardest ball at the expense of the gay community by using the AIDS crisis.
52, 796. It was a squeaker, but we made it. And the totals are going.
By 1985, viewers were giving an estimated $100 million a year to Robertson's TV program. When televangelist Jim Bakker was sent to prison for mail fraud, and Jimmy Swaggart was caught with a prostitute, viewer donations to televangelism plummeted.
A lot of broadcasters are gone. Some needed to, some it was financial pressure.
Televangelist Jerry Falwell's ministry was nearly bankrupt. Then he sent out a fundraising letter which claimed AIDS-infected homosexuals were purposefully infecting citizens by knowingly giving their AIDS-infected blood to blood banks. In the fundraising letter, Falwell said, quote, "They know they are going to die, and they are going to take as many people with them as they can," unquote. His ministry was revived.
"75 years ago, a plague descended upon the world and covered the nations of Eastern Europe like a dark cloud. But ladies and gentlemen, a more benign but equally insidious plague has fastened itself upon the families of America.
At the Republican National Convention, Robertson characterized communism and government bureaucracies as plagues, a thinly veiled reference to the AIDS crisis. Robertson supports the theory that gays have conspired with other supposedly subversive agents in order to undermine the nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, the carrier of this plague is the Democrat Party.
That Republican convention was one of the most hateful things. I'm a Republican, but I'll tell you what, Pat Robertson personally was one of the reasons why I voted against George Bush.
Okay, now, Pat, he's saying you would not let a pro-choice person chair your party, or you would try to stop it.
He just contradicted what I just said. I'm sitting here in this chair telling you something different, and he said I won't do it. How does he know what I'll do? I think if he obviously didn't hear my speech at the convention, because it closed with a beautiful story of a lovely lady holding a little starving child in her arm, and there was a call for a better world and one nation under God. I can't see how anybody said that was hateful. I don't know where he's coming from, but there's something there that is not just on the surface, I think, because I didn't say the things he said I did.
We'll be right back with Pat Robertson and Lynn Martin and more of your phone calls on Larry King Live, then Tina Sinatra. Don't go away.
That guy was on the wall. Yeah, sure alive. Eating the ground. You take the one sentence, turn it around. Remember, you're a yes from the question. You can talk about anything you want to. What's that?
Did you get a good question?
No.
This last one is.
The last one, I didn't get it.
I said, who in the heck is screening these calls? I've had one person call him a bigot. I've had another person call him a zealot. Let's get some balance out there. Well, the last
It's too late. The last one's okay, but the first three were all homosexual.
I know.
I've had this before.
You can answer the question any way you choose to.
I hear you.
All right? Remember, sir, take it where you want it to go. Take it where you want it to go. I don't like the producer of this segment.
Well, they were trying to set me up.
told me. And that's what the Harris group told me.
Did they accomplish it, or have I come back on
No,
that?
I think you're fine. I think that I'm just very upset.
Yeah. Well.
You haven't come across any place that's been angry.
Oh no, I'm not angry. Who's angry?
You look good.
Well, thank you. We'll be, I think they'll be out of here in about a minute. I hear you.
The winner in the Rocky Mountain states, Colorado, 8 electoral votes. Perot was a big factor, taking away.
3 years after Bush's defeat, the Christian Coalition tripled its active membership to 1.5 million members.
Clinton's taken New Mexico, according to them.
Its annual budget has more than doubled, and the coalition holds virtual veto power over the Republican nominee for president in 1996.
Rhode Island. Delaware.
Mr. Roberts, would you like to reorganize the Republican Party around the Christian tenets that you hold so dear?
I would like to see a winning coalition like Ronald Reagan had. I think we've got to get economic conservatives together with social conservatives and some who are foreign policy advocates of the foreign policy initiatives that we've seen very successfully over the last 10 or 12 years, and to put together that coalition. And I think that the last thing we need is recrimination and finger pointing and that sort of thing. It's good. The Republican Party will probably have a splendid opportunity if we have some economic collapse in the next 2 or 3 years to come back strong in '96.
Pat Robertson, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Frank Gumble?
Tom, that's the closest we've seen to the start of what might be a round of finger pointing. How much of it do you think we are going to see?
Well, I think that the Pat Robertson movement, and he's not the only one who's involved in it, is very important and to some Republicans a little terrifying right now because they're very well organized.
He says we're very important and very well organized in county by county. Yes, the new religious right. They'll organize out of sight of the conventional machinery and then go out and win.